Getting you ready for game time. Join me, Sal from Behind the Arc Basketball, as I announce play-by-play. Make sure to smash the like and subscribe, because now we're about to go live. Entering the pregame, we now present Sal from Behind the Arc Basketball. And what's good, everybody? Welcome in. Here we go. We get the Sweet 16 tonight. BYU, the 6th seed, taking on Alabama, the 3 seed, and get ready for a shootout battle between these two teams. The first two, 90 or 100, is going to win this one tonight. BYU, 26-9 record, 14-6 in the Big 12 this season. They won their last game by 2 points, squeaking it out over Wisconsin, 91-89. Alabama, 27-8, 13-5 in the SEC, winning both of their games. Coming into this bracket against the 15 and the 7, beating Robert Morris by 9, 90-81. They won against St. Mary's 80-66 to get to the Sweet 16, and they went all the way to the Final Four last year for the Roll Tide. That was the deepest run in program history for Alabama. BYU looking to see if they can pull off the 6-3 upset coming into this matchup here between two offenses that can light up the board. If you're new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and what should be a very highly entertaining game going down here between these two teams tonight. What's good, Daily Sports Stuff? Welcome in. That is awesome. Congrats out there to you, bud. First place right now looks like in the bracket challenge league that we got going on there for our group. So, that's great, man. Keep up the great work there, man. Austin, welcome in. Yeah, I really like the pickup there, Stephon Diggs, the Patriots, just hoping that he can stay healthy. And the Patriots finally found their legitimate wide receiver one for their team. Just hopefully he's able to avoid injury, and that's massive there. That finally Drake May has like go-to target on his team, because they've been lacking wide receivers and weapons for years. This is going back like 5+ years now, so that's huge there to pick up Stephon Diggs a couple of days ago. Pringle, what's good? Welcome in. I like Alabama. I took for this game, but very, very close. I think it's going to come down to either one or possibly 2 possessions. I think this is going to be a really close game going down tonight. Alabama, number 1 team in the nation in scoring, averaging just under 91 points per game. They're the number 1 team in rebounding. They're the number 1 team in pace. And just lights out this season for the Roll Tide. They do. So the thing about them is that they play so fast. They score a ton of points. They do give up a bunch of points. And going into this matchup here today, it's going to be a shootout going up against BYU, which loves to shoot the 3 just like Alabama. And BYU can make threes. A lot of them. 31st right now in college shoots, 37% from 3-point percentage for BYU, averaging 81 points per game, putting them at 26th in the nation. They average around 10.6 made threes per game. That puts them 11th in the country. This should be a 3-point shooting fest today, because Alabama, BYU both rank inside the top 25 in 3-point makes per game this season. Both of these teams are destined to get double-digit threes on the mark in this matchup today. For Alabama, they love to put you in foul trouble as well, so that could pose a problem here for BYU if they are getting into quite a bit of foul trouble into this matchup. But could come down to coaching here. One coach has been here before, Nate Oates, back to the Sweet 16 once again. The first time for Kevin Young, the former Phoenix Suns associate head coach, 2021 through 2023 for him, for BYU. But this is their first time here, their deepest run. If they do pull off the upset tonight, they go to the Elite 8 for the 4th time ever in program history. It would mark the first time since 1981 that they get there for BYU if they pick up the upset win today. Hit us up in the chat who you guys like to win this one here. BYU or Alabama are going to be tipping off in around 2 minutes from now. George, what's good? Welcome in. He's taking a Roll Tide for this one. Jeffrey, welcome back in. So got to help again this year for school baseball. That's great, man. Best of luck for the baseball season coming up. That is awesome. And the coach out from California. There we go. And yeah, Red Sox won today, opening day 5-2. It's a good start there for the Red Sox. Yeah, before I started off this stream, I heard the White Sox, who were the worst team all last year by a landslide in Major League Baseball, they actually won their first game today for their season opener. Jason, what's good? Welcome in here, brother. Glad to have you back in once again. Let's go, everybody. If you guys are new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. And I'm going to get to my top 5 picks here right before we start off this stream. Top 5 picks for tonight's look like this right here. I like BYU plus 5.5 on the spread. In my bracket, I got Alabama winning this game, but I just said around a minute or two ago, I think it's going to come down to a 1-possession game, possibly a 2-possession game. I like this game to be very, very close, determined most likely by 3 or 4 points. Anywhere in between the range of 1 to 4 in my preference. I think that this game is going to be determined. That's why I like BYU to cover tonight in this game. Both of these teams light up the scoreboard. First to 90, first to 100 is going to win this one today. The over-under is crazy high between these two teams. It's at 175.5 right now for the over-under, so expect a bunch of points off the board. Maryland has never lost by 6 points or more this season. They're a 6.5-point dog in the spread tonight against Florida. I like Maryland to cover the spread. I do have Florida, though, in my brackets to advance, so I do like Florida to win that game, but I think it's going to be determined anywhere between 1 and 5 points for the win by Florida tonight. Maryland against Florida over 156.5. The last 9 straight games for Florida have hit the over on the total points there, whoever they play against. Duke minus 9.5 in the spread. They're just going through a buzzsaw in this bracket right now. They went to Arizona, first true road game back in November, beat Arizona by 14 out in Tucson. And this Duke team is just tearing apart the competition. I like Duke tonight by double digits, 10 points at least to win this game for Duke. I think they're going to have a commanding victory tonight over Arizona. And then Arkansas to keep it close tonight, plus 5.5 in the spread against Texas Tech. I actually have Texas Tech in that game in my bracket, but there's another one that we could be looking at, a 1 or a 2 possession outcome tonight. So I think there's 3 really good games that we could be looking back at it very, very close tonight. Starters look like this for BYU. Mawut Mag, Yegor Damine, we get Kiba Keita, Trevin Nell, and also Richie Saunders inside the starting 5. Saunders shooting red hot from the perimeter, 43%. Also his teammate Trevin Nell is as well. Alabama starting 5 with Mark Sears, LeBron Phelan. We get Grant Nelson, Chris Youngblood, and Clifford Amarui inside the starting 5 for Alabama going into this matchup here. What's good, Imario? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining today. We got Andres in the channel. Welcome aboard. Ian, glad to have you back in. So, best of luck there for Ian's picks. As he's got BYU, Duke, Maryland, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Houston and Auburn. Michigan State as well. First year under Kevin Young as head coach, 26-9 for BYU coming into this matchup here. Yeah, this game should be really, really good. I think first to like either 90 or 100 is going to win this one here. Alabama back in the Sweet 16. Seems like it's usual appearance recently for Nate Oates' squad. Fourth Sweet 16 since 2020 under head coach Nate Oates. And also the 2020 tournament was canceled, so that year they nobody played in the tournament. But since 2021, 4th straight in a row. Yeah, Rick Pitino's son going over to Xavier. I like that pickup there, that he's going to the Big East, so gets closer to his father. So he's out in Cincinnati right now for Xavier and playing in the same conference with St. John, so that's really good. Here we go, blue BYU, black jerseys, blue numbers, blue letters, white outline for this matchup. Alabama, white jerseys, red numbers with the crimson numbers, crimson letters. And here we go, Alabama right to left on the floor, BYU going left to right, and BYU controls the opening tip. This game is on neutral floor, taking place out in Newark, New Jersey, Prudential Center for this matchup here. Winner will face the winner of Duke versus Arizona. The later game tonight around 9:40 p.m. BYU opening possession at the low block. This ball gets moved across the floor over to Mag. Mag inside the key. Floats up a tough shot. No good off the back rim. Tipped up. The rebound control for Alabama by Grant Nelson. Nelson quickly up the floor. Nelson attacks inside the paint. Nelson floats it up. He scores up and through. It is good for 2 for Alabama. Grant Nelson just so key last year, leading his team to the Final Four. Mark Sears was a walking bucket last season on that Final Four run. Kick out corner 3, missed off the mark. No good for BYU, as that was an open look by Mowat Mag, but he couldn't send it down. Couple of international guys in the roster. They got Mowat Mag is from Australia. Sears, jumper, deep 2, drills it. 4-zip right now for Alabama, opening minute of action. If you're new in the stream or just getting started, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Alabama really stepping up defensively as BYU takes a deep jumper. That is good for a deep 2 by Trevin Nell. 4-2 right now. His foot seemed like it was on the 3-point line. They gave him the 3 according to the statistician. That looked like it was completely a 2. Sears bricked the 3 off the back rim straight away. Rebound controlled here by BYU. They got 4-3 right now as a score. I thought for sure that was a 2 for them. We expect both of these teams to play so fast. Alabama leading the country in pace of play right now as they have possession. Phelan at the top of the key. LeBaron Phelan dribbles up to the mid-block. Phelan lost control of the basketball, turns it over, stole away here by BYU. It's Trevin Nell with a steal up the floor off to Mag. Mag working his way low block. Shovel pass inside the key off to Keita. Hook shot, bounces in. It's good for the bucket. BYU right now, according to the scoreboard, is taking the lead 5-4. Based on my eyes, I thought that first shot that they made was deep 2. Their foot was on the 3-point line, but they rolled it a 3 right now. That's what they got on the CBS scorebug as BYU running the floor off the rebound. A dump off down low as Mag shovels it over to his teammate, and that is a layup score by Richie Saunders. 7-zip run right now for the Cougars. Hit us up in the chat who you guys like for this one tonight, Alabama or BYU, and Alabama turns it over for the second time in the game around the perimeter. Saunders with a steal. Bounce pass ahead of the pack. Here goes BYU attacking the paint. Trevin Nell scores up and in off the glass. 9-0 run right now for BYU. And Alabama couldn't finish at the rim. Grant Nelson signaling for the foul call. So we do have a whistle here. I believe it's going to be goaltend. Okay, so it's going to be goaltend. So goaltend violation charged to BYU there. 9-6 as we have it right now through the first 3 minutes of action. BYU with a possession. Saunders dribbles up, floats up a runner, swoosh. Holy smokes. We got a bunch of points pouring in right now. 11-6, 17 combined in the first 3+ minutes. Sears at the top of the key steps into an open 3 right down the chute. He's got it. 20 combined points in the first 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Right now, the score bug having a tough time trying to keep up. Carly, CBS, that's the second time they've put the wrong score on the scoreboard right now. BYU with possession, top of the key. Keita, handoff, straight away, 3, no good off the back rim, missed by Dimon. And the rebound controlled here for Alabama. Igor Damon, he is a first-year leading assist man on the team this season, averaging 10 and 5 for points and assists this season. And here they go. They track it down with a long rebound by BYU. Pushing tempo here for the Cougars. Mag dribbles, drives, low block inside. Oh, nice dump off underneath. Leads to a 2-handed flush by Keita. Wow, he completely drew the double team right there. Mowat Wag. And Mag able to draw that double team, and Keita just left out in a clear wide open as Alabama just sizzles a quick 3 right back. Holy smokes, we get a bunch of scoring here. 25 points in the first 4+ minutes. The lob down low, couldn't handle it properly as that was Keita who went down. He's out of the play. 5-4 currently for Alabama. Nelson drive, kick out to the corner, missed the mark, and the pass is a turnover. I mean, somebody's going to have to slow down the basketball right now. Alabama, 3 turnovers to begin this game. You got to settle in. I know they play with the #1 pace in the nation, but right now, a couple of miscues so far in this game for Alabama. BYU got off to a slow start, and now they lead this game as we got it 13-12. 13-12 to the first timeout in action. We're down to 15:32 left to go in the first. Man, holy smokes. This is one thriller to call right here, getting used to this pace. If you're doing a stream or just getting started tonight, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, or ring the notification bell as well if you guys would like to be notified here for future live streams. I think we're in store to see 3 really close games tonight in the Sweet 16, just by tonight. In case you guys missed it, I'll go back into what my projections were for tonight with my top 5 picks. So this is what I got for my top 5 picks for tonight. I took BYU plus 5.5 in the spread. I've got Alabama in my bracket, but I think this game comes down to 1 possession, possibly 2 possessions, determined by either a 1 to a 4-point game for victory, whoever wins this game tonight. I like Maryland to cover 6.5 in the spread against Florida. Maryland's never any time that Maryland has lost this season, they've never lost by 6 points or greater. For Maryland, they've hung in every single game that they played 5 points or less, being the determining outcome on every single game. I like the over for Maryland, Florida. This over looking really good right now at 25 currently, and there's a bunch of points at 175.5 on the line. I like Duke. This is the lone outlier tonight. I think Duke's going to cover against Arizona. Duke's just ripping through everybody in the bracket, tearing it up right now. I don't think there's a chance that Arizona's going to be able to slow them down tonight. Arkansas to cover the spread against Texas Tech. I think that's going to be another close game as well. So I'm projecting 3 close games tonight out of the 4, and then Duke to smash Arizona by double digits today. What's good, Vegas? Welcome back in. Thanks for joining in. Bud Dale, welcome back in the stream. Hit us up in the chat who you guys like for this one here, Alabama or BYU. We got buckets flying all over the place in this game. 5 points by Trevin Nell, 4 each by Richie Saunders and Keba Keita. Alabama led by Mark Sears. He has got 4 points by Grant Nelson, and LeBaron Philon's got himself 3 at the moment. Grab the popcorn for this game. Got to be really, really good indeed. 5 for 8 shooting by Alabama to begin. BYU 6 for 10 currently. Jerdy through the Jerdy for Alabama. 2 tournament games. They have scored 98 points in the paint. Shot the ball 39% for the perimeter. Only have scored 2 baskets from the mid-range this entire tournament for Alabama. Alabama is the nation leader in points scored, averaging 91 points per game. They lead the nation in rebounds per game, defensive rebounds per game. Also doing it with efficiency. So even though you would think that the efficiency numbers would be downwards, but they rank top 20 in the nation in field goal shooting percentage for Alabama. They're the number 4 team in the country in 2-point shooting percentage as BYU goes up for the lob and it floats in for 2. 15-12 now for the Cougars. This BYU team is just such a strong team as well, getting inside to the rim. They got a really good perimeter team, 31st in the nation in 3-point shooting, but right with Alabama, they are number 8 in the country in 2-point shooting percentage, doing it mostly from 2 so far this game. Alabama able to shred down a triple right there from the perimeter. Coming off the bench first time today, that is Aiden Holloway, who knocks down a 3. 15 even. BYU attacking the rim, and they soar up and score up and off the backboard for 2. Richie Saunders putting himself a pretty solid game to begin so far today for him. Alabama dribbles, drives down low, and BYU forcing the strip here as we got a loose ball hitting the deck. Alabama still with it here as we got bodies hitting the deck, forcing a tie-up. It'll remain Alabama possession. Things start to get physical right now on the floor. BYU forcing 2 turnovers, almost a third there. Nobody can make a defensive stop to save their lives, and this is what the game's going to come down to, is who can make defensive stops and string together those defensive stops, because I don't think we're going to have many defensive stops at all for tonight's game here. 17-15. Both of these head coaches had almost a week to prepare as well. And still we got points flying off the scoreboard left and right. Alabama gets the inbound at the left corner For the Crimson Tide, it's Mohamed Diabate. First time on the floor. Alabama takes the three, makes the three from downtown straight away. 18-17 right now for the Roll Tide. BYU jumper, 15-footer, bricked off the back rim, no good. Sears controls the defensive rebound. Mark Sears has it up the floor. Sears slides it off to his left over to Diabate. Diabate off to the corner to Stevenson. Outside with Mark Sears pulling up from deep range, and he rattles in a big-time triple. Oh, yeah, Mark Sears looks like he's pumped up tonight. 4-point lead for Alabama. BYU just 1 for 4 from 3. Alabama's 5 for 8. BYU, their floater miss, sure. Put back, right place, right time, though, for Keba Keita. Keita down low. Making this a 2-point game right now. Sears flings it outside to his right. Wide open three. Missed off the mark, no good by Holloway. Offensive rebound right back to Alabama, though. They stepped in the bounds with it. So Alabama out of bounds. Turnover number 3 tonight for Alabama. Yeah, that's unfortunate there for Tatum. It's a good sign that it wasn't anything serious for him. So he's probably going to miss like a couple more games, but it doesn't look like it's anything serious. I thought it could have been concerning at first. Wow, this game's really blowing by as well. Key about this game so far, we have 0 personal fouls right now. Really good flow going into this game here with both of these teams just blowing down up and down the floor against one another. BYU with the ball at the top. Number 30 with possession. This is Dallin Hall out of Plain City, Utah. Hall lost the handle in the corner, turns it over. First turnover tonight, charged to BYU. Really fun and entertaining game. Both of these offenses can light it up. BYU 26th in the country in scoring. Alabama's the number 1 team in the nation, averaging almost 91 points per game. Alabama averages around 10 points per game greater than BYU. 91 points per game for Alabama. BYU averages 81. 21-19 right now. Alabama with possession. Sears has it at the top of the key. Sears, step back 3 in the air, straight away. He buries another one. Oh, man, an absolute machine right now from Mark Sears in this game. Saunders, runner, missed off the rim short. Offensive rebound controlled by BYU by Saunders. Bounce pass underneath. BYU goes up to get fouled. And this will send Fousseyni Traore to the free throw line shooting 2, number 45 for BYU. Traore on a Mali. Keita, who starts, he's on a Mali. Boskovic comes off the bench. He's from Serbia. Yegor Damin, he is from Russia inside the starting 5. And also Mawat Mag is inside the starting 5. He is from Australia. So this team is built with a bunch of international prospects on it. 2 of them, the country from Mali, out in Africa. First one is good by Traore. Maryland, Florida tips off in around 13 minutes from now. I'll keep you guys posted with that one tonight as well. 44 combined points. Now 45 as he drills the free throw. Three-point game, Alabama with the ball with possession. LeBaron Philon weaves his way towards his left, reach and follow, charged around the perimeter to BYU. That's the first personal foul charged to Traore. Number 5 will check in here for the first time today as Richie Saunders takes a seat towards the bench. He'll be Mihailo Boskovic, which comes on the floor. He is from Serbia, coming off the bench right now. Inbound for Alabama. Mark Sears slides it over to his left. Holloway, catch and fire 3, bricked off the back rim, no good. Offensive rebound right back to Youngblood. Sears finds Aiden Holloway. Holloway Moves it over to the low block, outside to the wing. Catch and fire three off the mark. No good by Youngblood. That ball hit all glass, and BYU coming down with it the opposite direction. Cougars with possession at the top. Boscovich, handoff over to Troyori around the perimeter. Dallin Hall, off the dribble handoff, attacks inside the paint. Hall, bounce pass underneath Traore. Backdoor scores, up and off the backboard. It's a 2-point game right now. Yeah, they're getting whatever they want inside the paint so far. 14 of 4 points in the paint for BYU. They just cannot make a three to begin this game here. 1 for 4 from the perimeter. Alabama start off red hot from the outside as they pop up for the three. No good off the back rim, miss by Stevenson. Long rebound controlled out of the pack here for BYU. Dawson Baker inside the key, sneaks around, no good. Missed around the rim, and now as Alabama collects the defensive rebound with Aiden Sherrill. Crimson Tide with possession. Sears slides it off to his right, attacking the paint. Kick out corner three. Alabama swoosh. Oh, it's a big time shot there for the perimeter. Aiden Holloway lights it up from downtown. Wow, Alabama with a head full of steam. You thought they were going to take that one right to the rim. Instead, they decided to kick it out to the corner. Offensive rebound saved here by Traore. BYU going to slow down the possession. We're under 11 minutes left to go before halftime. 50 combined points right now. Wide open three, top of the key. BYU missed it. Offensive rebound. Putbacks there, plus the foul. That is good by Fousseyni Traore, and he will have an and one coming up here at the line. What a game. That's on Jaron Stevenson from behind, who picked up the shooting foul. This will take us to the under 12 media timeout. Second timeout of the game. 10:43 left to go in the first as we hit the timeout. Wow, what a start here. Just so fast. This is an ultimate speed game. First who scores 100 is going to win this one. Mark Sears, pumped up, ready to go. He is on fire. 11 points, 3 assists. 4 for 5 from the floor. He has scored or assisted on 70% of the scoring plays so far for Alabama. Responsible for 4 made field goals and then 3 assists. So 7 out of the 10 made baskets he has been a part of so far for Mark Sears. 4 points by Grant Nelson. Off the bench, Aiden Holloway is 3. Holloway has drilled 2 threes off the bench. A 3 made by Aiden Sherrill. A 3 also made by LeBaron Philon so far. So they are coming out firing, knocking down their threes. They're 7 for 14 currently from 3. BYU having issues hitting their threes so far today. 1 for 6 from the perimeter by BYU. This BYU team has multiple sharpshooters on their team too. Yet to get the hot hand though. 43% for Richie Saunders and Trevin Nell. Dawson Baker shooting just under 39% from 3. Now, these guys just haven't been able to get the hot hand from 3 so far. Really fascinating game. I don't think I've covered a college game like this in a long time where both of these teams are scoring at a high rate. BYU, 11 for 21 shooting. Alabama shooting a whopping 10 for 17, 59% right now. If you guys are new to the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, or ring the notification bell as well. If you guys would like to be notified here for future live streams, feel free to keep on coming back. I'm also planning to go live later tonight covering Duke, Arizona at 9:40 p.m. So if you'd like to join in for Duke against Arizona, feel free to do so. Tomorrow, I'm hoping to be live for one game tomorrow. I'm not sure just yet. I was supposed to have a softball broadcast on Saturday for a doubleheader. They pushed it up to Friday due to rain. So I have to go do 2 broadcasts tomorrow at 3 and 5 p.m. So I know for sure I will not be doing the earliest game at 7:10 tomorrow. If I get back in time, I might do Kentucky, Tennessee at 7:40 tomorrow. If I don't get back in time, then I do the 9:41 between Michigan and Auburn tomorrow. But I'm just going to stick to one game tomorrow because I got a really busy day for tomorrow. I get work from 8 to 1, and then I had to get approval from my workplace since my broadcast for my game switched dates that I had to get approval to leave work at 1 to go to my broadcast that I have for the doubleheader at 3 and 5 tomorrow. So it's going to be a really, really long day tomorrow. So I'm working 2 different corporate jobs starting at 8, going all the way to 7, basically, tomorrow. Free throw is good at the line for BYU. It's a 1-point game right now, 27-26. Hoping to be live, though, for all of the Elite 8 games on Saturday and Sunday. So the bright side about my broadcast being switched from Saturday to Friday is that it opens up like the entire day for Saturday, so that's good. The official just got pinned off this basketball here. Broke it up out of bounds off Alabama, right next to the official to BYU. The official was standing in BYU's possession. The basketball got broken up and hit the official out of bounds. BYU has it back. Top of the key here for the Cougars. Dawson Baker dribbles up at the right wing. Baker, crossover, slides it off to his left as BYU attacks inside the paint. Nice dump off the pass, but they couldn't finish. Dallin Hall, right decision, but unable to finish. That was Traore with the runner. Approaching the midway stage on this first half and open up the bank right there. That is good in the 3. LeBaron Phelan able to knock one. Cash money. They are red hot for the perimeter. 8 out of 16 from 3-point range. BYU tiptoes the baseline, save the basketball. Cougars have it at the mid-block. Traore backs his way in Nelson. Traore powers his way downhill over Nelson. No good. Contested off the glass. And Alabama with a defensive rebound. Defense starting to become better right now for Alabama. Getting stops, bouncing bodies inside the low post. And Alabama picks up the offensive foul. Lowering the shoulder inside the paint, number 35. Darian Reed picks up his first personal foul. Four turnovers tonight for Alabama, 2 by BYU. Yeah, this is one of those rare games that I bet you that the people in the broadcast need like a professional spotter to have them throughout in their ear this entire game because it's just so fast. This game's like a blur right now. Deflected pass, Alabama running the floor, and they shove it through in transition right behind the defense with a right-handed hammer. Grant Nelson with authority, 6-point lead for the Roll Tide. Mark Sears started off this game bringing the energy, and Alabama up by 6. 9 minutes left to go in the first half. BYU with possession. They'll try again. Demeen at the top, slides it over to the right corner. Baker, right baseline dribble, bounce pass underneath, good for 2. That is Traore up and in as he scored a layup. Alabama back with the basketball. Darian Reed out to the corner. Grant Nelson fires a 3, missed off the mark, no good. Offensive rebound controlled by Reed. And a reach and fall from behind, picked up charge to BYU here. That's their second personal foul. First foul charge to Mihailo Boskovic tonight. Holy smokes. We got points flying off the scoreboard. Some serious numbers right now. Alabama bounce pass underneath off the inbound. No good by Nelson off the glass. And offensive rebound ran over to Clifford Amarui as we have a fight for this basketball right now. And it's possession arrow off the tie up. BYU. Yeah, no fouls, which is really interesting because Alabama, for personal fouls, ranks top 15 most in the country for them. And they go to the free throw line. They're top 10 in free throw attempts. BYU is more of like a perimeter-oriented team, so they don't foul that much. I actually like it this way right now, that we're going through this game blazing through currently, because usually the second game gets delayed, like pushed back to 10 o'clock if we keep on the rate that we're going. We're in pretty good pace of time unless it goes into overtime, which honestly it might. Which I would not be shocked if this game goes into overtime tonight. Runner inside the paint for BYU. BYU called on... Let's see here. It's going to be on to Alabama. Yeah, Alabama reaching in. Alabama was signaling travel. Couldn't get the call down. I've got Duke, Florida, Houston, and Michigan State in my Final Four. I'm not too confident based on what I saw when Michigan State against New Mexico in the last game. I honestly think that Ole Miss is going to take them out tomorrow. They couldn't shoot any sort of jump shot from Michigan State. I think they're in trouble tomorrow against Ole Miss as BYU soars up and scores at the rim, up and in off the glass. Back and forth. 62 combined points here. Sears slides it over to Nelson. Back over to Sears. Step back three in the air. He's money on it. Mark Sears. Bang, bang from the perimeter. Wow, this dude is automatic tonight. 14 points right now. Drilling his 4th-3 in the first half by Mark Sears. Grant Nelson with his first assist of the game. And BYU commits a turnover. Travel violation inside the paint. Charge the Cougars. BYU getting whatever they want. Points in the paint. Bad sign, though, for them. Mark Sears on fire tonight. 14 points, 5 for 6 from the floor, 4 for 5 from the perimeter. Alabama is 9 for 18 from three-point range. Despite that, they have just a 5-point lead. BYU making a huge mark in the paint, but their inability to make a three, it's haunting them right now. It's just 1 for 6 from 3. Yeah, these two teams shoot the ball really well from 3. What I've saw in the tournament so far, the teams that struggle with three-point shot making, those are the teams that keep on getting bounced out early. The teams that were in the 300s and the rankings for three-point shooting percentage, a lot of them got bounced out. St. John's, Texas A&M, Illinois, St. Mary's was in the 290s. All those teams got bounced out. Yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm not so confident about Michigan State tomorrow, because Michigan State's also in the 300s for their perimeter shooting percentage. I think Arkansas is as well. So Arkansas in the 300s. I like Texas Tech in that game tonight. It's I think they're gonna play it really, really close though. So 35-30 right now. I'll keep you guys posted on Maryland, Florida. This game just tipped off. And Maryland scores the first basket. 2-0 for Maryland in the first 30 seconds. Hey, what's good, Alex in the stream? Welcome in. Best of luck for your Terps tonight. Yeah, I was shocked to see Maryland a 6.5-point underdog on the spread for that game. Florida beat UConn, an 8 seed, by just 2. And if you go back to this entire season, Maryland hasn't lost by 7 points or more this year to any game. What's the interesting stat is that Maryland has 8 losses by a combined 28 points this year. Florida has 4 losses by a combined 32 points this year. So even though Florida's lost 4 less times than Maryland, Florida actually has a worse margin than Maryland this year based on the differential for games that they lost. Yeah, Maryland's never lost a game this year by 6 points or more. The spread was at 6.5. So I think that was a little bit way too much there. Oh, only thing that will hurt Maryland is if these players, or either the players or the head coach, don't buy in. Because I heard there's rumors out there from yesterday. There was a team dinner for Maryland. Head coach Kevin Willard did not show up to the team dinner. And there's rumors out there that he agreed to be the next head coach for Villanova for Kevin Willard. So that's the rumors that's flying around right now recently, is that Kevin Willard is going to take the Villanova job. Decided not to go to the team dinner yesterday, though those guys believing in themselves winning at the buzzer against Colorado State on Sunday. We get back to action. 5-point game. BYU here with a possession. Top of the key with Yegor Demine. As BYU shoots a deep range three. They bricked it off the bottom right part of the glass. Scramble for the basketball. Tie up on the floor. Possession arrow, Alabama. This is now the third 50-50 ball that's resulted in a tie-up. Second time the possession arrow has gone to Alabama tonight. Inability to make a three right now is haunting BYU. 1 for 7 from three-point range. Florida leads 5-2 currently against Maryland. And I'll be back on later tonight covering Duke against Arizona if you'd like to come on back around 9:40 p.m. Eastern time later tonight. Mark Sears off to his right. Deep range shot for Alabama. They drill it from the perimeter. Everything is a make right now for the Roll Tide. 10 for 20 from three-point range. That is Chris Youngblood for way outside. Largest lead of the game is BYU, able to bank it in for 2. Got to get their threes going on for BYU right now. This game could start to get out of control as Alabama's making 10 threes currently in the first half. Cross-court pass. Nelson off to Youngblood. We get a foul. BYU reaching in, and the player down right now for the Cougars as well. That's Trevin Knell, who is down. Looked like he might have got poked in the eye off that cross-court passes. Youngblood. Ooh! Youngblood soared up with a basketball. Dangerous cross-court pass, and the elbow of Youngblood just shot right into the face of Trevin Knell. As Trevin Knell hit the deck hard. You got to cut away from the broadcast, CBS. That's disgusting. Trevin Knell is bleeding from his nose. As the game is stopped, we're going to have to go on an injury timeout. That's bad. Oh, goodness. Prayers to that young man right there. Trevin Knell for BYU. Knocked down on the floor, and he is... There's blood all over the place right now. You should have cut to commercial break a long time ago. What are you doing, CBS? Cut to commercial break. Nobody wants to see that. That's... Oh, man. It's terrible. Yeah, I've been working in athletics broadcasting for around 5 years now or so for in-person college broadcasts, and the first thing that when I work with a producer or the camera operator, the first thing that the camera operator has to know always, and the producer has to know, is that whenever there's an injury, you cut away from the scene. Just turn the camera away from the scene. Don't go to that shot right there. They had way too many seconds on a camera shot there with blood on the floor. I mean, if anybody has issues seeing blood right now with the millions and billions of viewers watching this broadcast, I mean, that's terrible. Luckily, we cut back to action here, and he is okay. Trevin Knell right now on the bench, He's got tissues up both of his noses here currently. Missed 3 off the rim short by Alabama as we come back to action. Approaching 6 minutes left to go before halftime. BYU with possession. Saunders at the elbow. Bounce pass. Backdoor cutter. Bobble the ball. Out of bounds. And it's going to stay BYU possession. Mowo Mag cutting back doors. Alabama. Did they touch it here? Oh, yeah. Oh, whoa. No, that never touched the baseline. Okay, referees reversed it. I was going to say they first pointed in BYU's direction. Reverse call. It's Alabama ball. Alabama has it back. Sears has it at the left wing perimeter. Sears dribbles towards his right. Sears red hot. Dribbles up to the elbow. Sears now down to the low block. Kick out. 3 at the wing. Off the mark. No good. Missed by Holloway. Offensive rebound. Far side control by Amarui. Out to the wing. Sears jacks up a 3. Oh, he hits another one. Bang, a bang, a bang, a baby from Mark Sears. Player of the game so far tonight. Mark Sears coming out firing red hot. 17 points. 5 made threes on 6 for 7 shooting in this opening half. Just a walking bucket, doing what he does best, putting the ball into the basket constantly. Demeen at the mid-block. Demeen up fake, sneaks around. Demeen up in and off the backboard, scores for 2. 41-34. 5 minutes left to go before halftime here. Race to 100 is on tonight. Over-under was at 175.5. Handoff Sears, slides it off to his right. No look, pass right corner. Alabama drills another triple. Holy cannoli, they are red hot for the perimeter. 12 made threes in this first half. We still got 4:40 left to go in the first as BYU airballs a 3 out of bounds. Yeah, the speed right now set by Alabama in this game has really flustered BYU. BYU having a ton of issues keeping up with Alabama's speed. Alabama's speed, shooting, it's just locked and loaded. Holy smokes. 12 made threes. That's the most by any team in the first half of the tournament, in this NCAA tournament. I wonder what the record is for most made threes. This is going to be closing the gap here. Like, that's an insane amount of threes that's made. Some of these NBA teams, you're lucky to reach 12 made threes in the game or so, but what they're doing right now, this Alabama team is in a historic pace, playing like the Celtics here currently, like the Celtics did last night as Grant Nelson shoves it in. He pushed off, though, and that is an offensive foul charge to Alabama on Grant Nelson. So they erase away the bucket. This will be BYU ball. Yeah, if you guys caught the Celtics game last night against the Suns, the Celtics without Tatum smashed the Suns. It wasn't even close. I went to bed when the score was like 95-68 last night. The game wasn't even close. BYU in trouble, just 1 for 8 from the perimeter. BYU came into the game top 35 in the country in three-point shooting percentage. They're getting to the rim as Richie Saunders soars up and scores with a left-hand layup. Points in the paint helping them out in the game. Saunders got 10. Nelson tries a 3. Bricked off the rim, no good. Saunders collects the defensive rebounds. BYU with it, pushing tempo. Under 4 minutes left to go in the first half, and Saunders will draw the reach and foul. That's now the 5th personal foul charged to Alabama. We will take a timeout right now. 3:40 left to go in the first as we head over to another timeout. Wow. The pace of this game, man, is just incredible. Both of these teams are just blowing up and down the floor. I'm actually glad the games that I picked out tonight because both of the games are going to be so high scoring, so fast paced. I'm glad it's not going to be like a major adjustment tonight because after this, feel free to join in for Duke against Arizona after this game. The pace for that one should be high as well. Yeah, I'm glad that it's not the game following this isn't like Houston against Purdue, because then we're looking at a snail race tomorrow in that one. Both of those teams play the slowest paces in the nation. I like the under tomorrow in that Houston-Purdue game. But yeah, this one right now, the points are flying off the board. Mark Sears, a walking bucket. 17 points, 6 for 8 from the floor, 5 made threes, 4 assists, 2 steals, 6 points each by 4 different players for Alabama. Grant Nelson, LeBaron Fallon, Chris Youngblood, and Aiden Holloway, all with 6. And then 3 points by Aiden Sherrill. BYU, led by Richie Saunders, he has 10. 8 points by Kiba Keita. 7 points by Trevin Nell. 7 points by Foseni Traore. Yeah, there's a lot of good offenses going at it tonight. Florida leads Maryland 12-9. Yeah, I'm going to do Duke against Arizona afterwards. So I'll have Duke against Arizona later tonight. Based on the time slot. I wish I could cover all of them or so. It's just how the games pan out for the timing and stuff like that. So I took the two earliest ones in the time slot because I have to get up for work tomorrow. And that 10 o'clock start game, the Arkansas-Texas Tech game, yeah, that ain't going to finish till like 12:30 in the morning later today. Florida's up against Maryland 12-9 right now. We'll keep you guys posted on that score. But yeah, there's basically 4 high-tempo games possibly tonight. Texas Tech scores a lot of points. Arkansas is going to have a really good physical showing by their defense to pick up the win. Not sure yet tomorrow. I got 2 softball games tomorrow at 3 and 5, so it all depends on what time I get home tomorrow. If I get home early tomorrow and it's my final game ends in like a 8-run roll or something, and I get home early tomorrow, then I'll cover Kentucky, Tennessee. But if the games drag on, they go into like extra innings or so, I'll probably lean towards a later game like Michigan against Auburn tomorrow. It's either one or the other for those games. So I don't think I'll be back in time to cover the early game tomorrow, and I don't want to be staying up late to cover the Houston-Purdue game that's on past 10 o'clock tomorrow, because I'm working tomorrow 8 to 1 in my work, and then I have to leave my work and go do 2 broadcasts tomorrow at 3 and 5. So it's basically an 8 to 7 hour workday for me tomorrow. 44-36, BYU just committed an over-the-back foul. 6 personal fouls by Alabama, 3 by BYU. Alabama with possession, lob over the top, couldn't finish at the rim. BYU commits the foul, though. 2 free throws coming up here for Alabama. Yeah, it might be more towards 9 o'clock based on when my games get out. Because usually the games go 2 hours or so. Sometimes they go by quick, like an hour 15, hour and a half sometimes. So it all depends on what times these games get out tomorrow. Both of the free throws are good. 46-36. And I'm hoping to be live for the Elite 8 games as well on Saturday and Sunday. They don't have the times listed yet. I believe Saturday's at night at like 6 and 8. And then I believe Sunday historically has been during the afternoon around like 2 and 4. Previously, or like 2 and 5. Yeah, good stuff tonight from Jeffrey here. Seems like we got those guys hidden recently, so that's good. So keep up the good work. Yeah, I'll see if I can bring on Mr. Tops here. Maybe during halftime, we'll see how he's doing. As Alabama has it inside the key, looking to stretch the lead. Largest lead currently, the game up by 10. Shot clock down to 1. Gotta get it off. They made an extra pass. That was a bad decision. And picked up here by BYU as they lob it in transition over the top. It leads to a 2-handed flush. Being thrown down by the Cougars by Mawatmog in transition. Richie Saunders with a great lob up ahead there. And that was a poor decision by Alabama. Alabama just turned it over on back-to-back possessions. BYU steps into a corner 3. They airballed it. Alabama back with a rebound. We get a late whistle. The foul, though, charged to Alabama. Or no, charged to who? They just ticked up BYU's foul number to 5. Yeah, that's on Cada. That's on Cada on the loose ball foul. So that's the 5th personal foul charged to BYU. Alabama's reactions for a moment thought that they got fouled. Or thought that they were charged with a foul by Youngblood. But Youngblood pushed by Cada on that air ball. Now the referees are actually looking at this right now. So the refs are taking a look at the monitor currently. We're down to 2:11 left to go in the first. What a start for Florida. 18-9, Florida leads Maryland. Oh, man, things are physical. Cada and Youngblood underneath the hoop swinging arms against one another. Oh, man. Cada to shove aside the Youngblood after the ball. Got sent as an air ball. NBA 2K25 yesterday for Bryce. His team, the Magic, beat the Bucks 96-67. That was when the Bucks were better than the Magic. There you go. Yeah, not a good start for Maryland so far. That was the only question I had going into this game was, are these players bought in? That's the question for Maryland, because what happened last night is that the head coach, Kevin Willard, didn't show up to the team dinner, and there were rumors surrounding why Willard didn't show up, with a news breaking win in the team that Kevin Willard is pursuing the Villanova job, and that Villanova is going to have a meeting with him to announce that Kevin Willard will be the new head coach of Villanova. See, the history and stuff like that for Villanova, I get that, but how in the world is that an upgrade from Maryland based on the whole Power 5 conference thing right now? Big East is still a major conference, but this year the Big East was really, really down. Like, I'm concerned about the future of the Big East. Okay, so I haven't talked about this just yet. I'll get into it more during halftime here about St. Francis and their recent leave to D3. But in my honest opinion, I think these Big East schools, we might see some of these conferences break away in the future, and I would not be shocked if the Big East is one of those conferences that gets compared to like the A10. Within like the next 5 years or so, the Big East gets compared to the A10, and we're going to see a lot of conferences dissolve because of NIL and stuff coming up in the future. 46-38 right now. Chris Youngblood going to get a free throw out of this here for Alabama. So that was charged on Kiba Keita on a foul. The free throw is good. So a flagrant on Keita. He's now on the bench. The free throw is good by Youngblood. Youngblood will have a second shot here at the free throw line, and that is good as well. It's a 10-point lead once again for Alabama. Alabama's been here before. Third straight Sweet 16 appearance, and also Alabama gets the basketball. They went to the Final Four last year, the deepest run ever in NCAA tournament history. Alabama, they're 3 halfway down. Rattled out, though. That was a pretty good look by Aiden Holloway. They've had just a historic amount of threes here in this opening half, the most of any team in the tournament by far, in half one. Under 2 minutes left to go in the first. Alabama off the rebound, racing their way up the floor. Sears fires a bullet down low to a two-handed flush. Thrown down by Clifford Amarui. 50 points in the first half on the board for the Roll Tide. Alabama shooting the ball lights out, 12 for 27 from the perimeter. Largest lead of the game right here, right now. Handoff from Boscovich over to his teammate Saunders. Fires a three coming off the screen as Alabama gives a foul. Yeah, probably. So Villanova probably will be a good team next season. One of Jeffrey's coaches used to help live in Kentucky. There we go. Yeah, a lot of good basketball history out in Kentucky. 18-9 Florida right now with 10:45 left to go in the first. 20-9 Florida. Yeah, UConn won the Big East some big-time money to keep the conference afloat last couple of years. If UConn didn't win those championships, Big East would be in like a pretty bad revenue area, I feel like right now. They could become the next Pac-12 if it wasn't for UConn winning those championships. Bounce pass at the wing, off to Sears. Sears dribbles up, low block. Sears floats the pass, cross court. Off fake by Holloway. Holiday on the outside, over to Sears. Sears with a minute left to go. Lost the handle, tears it over, up the floor. We get a reach and foul from behind. Charge to Alabama. This is going to send BYU into the bonus shooting free throws. Yeah, it seems like that ever since the tournament started. I'm lucky that I was able to put it into the 8-second mode, which helps out. So it only keeps it to 1 each, which is good. Final minute left to go before half, and what has been just a rapid fire pace of play between these two teams tonight here. If you're new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Richie Saunders, 1-1 at the free throw line for BYU is an 83% free throw shooter this season. The first one's good. Richie Saunders with excellent shooting splits. 51% for the floor, 43% from 3, 83% at the free throw line this year. He's up to now point number 11. That is the team leader. Second free throw is good. 12 points now for Richie Saunders. 90 combined points in this opening half. Alabama with possession. A right baseline dribble. Outside to the wing. They give it away. It's another turnovers. What's kept BYU in this game is the Alabama turnovers. And BYU steps into an open three. They bricked it no good off the mark. Offensive rebound right back to the Cougars. Dallin Hall. Over to Boscovich. Boscovich moves it outside to the corner. Back to Hall. BYU just 1 for 12 from 3. 30 seconds left to go in the first. Hall. Lob over to the elbow. 5 of the shot clock. Backing his way inside the key. Turnaround jumper. BYU off the back from no good. Missed by Boscovich. Rebound. Control for Alabama as BYU commits a loose ball foul. And that's now their 7th. Both teams in the bonus. Bad foul right there committed by BYU. You got 20 seconds left to go. Chris Youngblood's going to take a seat on the bench right now for the Roll Tide. Maryland showing signs of life right now. 22-16 Florida. 1-1 bonus. First free throw here by Aiden Holloway. 78% free throw shooter. First one's good. Second free throw missed off the rim short. BYU rips it away for the defensive rebound. And we get a timeout here taken with 17 seconds. "17 seconds left to go, so we'll take the timeout." Wow, what a first half. The over right now for this game is looking pretty good at the moment. 51-40. So over-under was at 175.5. It's at 91. 91 times 2. That's slightly over, around 182 right now. Got points flying off the scoreboard. Richie Saunders, 12 points, leading the way for BYU. Kiba Keita with 8. Alabama, the game leader, that is Mark Sears, 17 points, 5 assists. He has scored or assisted on 11 out of the 17 made field goals in the first half. Wow, Colin Coward has 15 out of 16 teams alive. Wow. Yeah, Maryland right now is closing the gap against Florida. 24-19, 7:37 left to go in the first as Maryland trying to make a comeback there. Yeah, this might be the last game for the head coach, Kevin Willard, at Maryland. There's a lot of rumors that he might be taking the Villanova job. 51-40. 17 seconds left, and BYU will have the basketball coming up out of the timeout. BYU isn't used to playing this speed. Alabama, #1 team in pace in the country. Dribble handoff for BYU down to the final seconds left to go. Corner three, blocked up in the air by Grant Nelson as Nelson comes away for the block, and he shoots a full court shot that bounces and hops right over the front row of the cheerleaders. Hit the baseline. That wasn't even close on the full court shot as it went wide right, and air ball hit the baseline, bounced over the top of the entire cheerleaders right behind the hoop at the baseline, and that's how we close out going to halftime. 51-40. 91 combined points in the first half. That first half was an absolute blur. Up and down the floor, up and down the floor. Mark Sears putting in the work for this moment. What a tournament for Mark Sears. Last year, he was outstanding. Led his team to a Final Four. He's got a first half season high with 17 points, drilling 5 threes in the opening half for Mark Sears. What a start tonight. Like, we got points flying off the scoreboard left and right. Holy cannoli. If you're new to the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring the notification bell as well if you guys would like to be notified here for future live streams. Let's keep on growing tonight, everybody. Let's keep on sharing this stream out to everybody possible. But yeah, wow, what a first half in the books we got here. I'm gonna turn on that Florida-Maryland game, and I'm gonna check and see what we got going on in that one here currently. It was 20-9 at one point. Now Florida's gone on a lengthy scoring drought, 24-23. Florida by just 1. And Maryland's going to the free throw line. Yeah, that's so sad. They are starting in the process of knocking down McCoy Stadium. It's really sad. Florida just buried a quick 3. Oof. That's a really good player for Florida. That's their leading big man for Florida. So Alex Condon being evaluated after an ankle injury. No timetable yet for a return for Alex Condon. Wow. Yeah, it's crushing right now for Florida. 10 turnovers by Florida in the first half. Holy smokes. So Florida doesn't have their leading big man right now, which is an issue because Derek Queen is the leading scorer for Maryland. He's going to pour in the points in bunches. Hey, there we go. Jay Muir's perfect bracket looks like for the Midwest region. Yeah, that's the Houston-Gonzaga region. That's with Purdue, Illinois, Kentucky. Yeah, I took him as my champion. So I took him in my bracket I got in the group as my champion. I actually did like a second chance bracket. I took Duke in my second chance bracket to win it all based on like what I've seen recently. I don't think there's any team that's going to stop Duke based on what I saw from this past weekend. Not looking good now for Florida. 10 turnovers in this first half here currently. And they're starting to brick shots as well. 27-26, Florida by 1 against Maryland with under 6 minutes left to go in the first. Yeah, so I think there's going to be a big division in the future. What we're going to see for like a lot of college basketball conferences coming up in the future. The smaller schools are having trouble trying to stay afloat right now for the smaller mid-major schools. So my opinion, I think we're going to see a lot less Cinderellas coming up in the next like years to come because of NIL, and we're probably going to see a lot of the smaller schools transfer to like Division 2 and Division 3 coming up in the future. So what happened a couple of days ago is that St. Francis of Pennsylvania, they went to the tournament, played in the round of, they played in the 16 seed playing game, St. Francis against Alabama State last week. St. Francis announced on Wednesday that that was on Tuesday, that they would be transitioning from D1 to D3 in the future. Yeah, it's an issue. So San Diego State, New Mexico, any like mid-major school, especially like Mountain West A10, Big East, like, so what's going on right now because of the transfer, you can transfer to wherever you want nowadays in the NIL, is that the smaller conference schools, like the Mountain West, the A10, the Big East, American, those conferences are just becoming afterthoughts right now. And those are like conferences that are just like thought of as a step up to the big boys, like the SEC, the Big 12, the Big 10. Those are the big boy conferences. And sadly, the Big East cannot be put in the same conversation anymore as the SEC, Big 12, Big 10. Not even sure about the ACC. Yeah, NIL is really, really not a good sign for smaller schools. Like, I would not be shocked if, like, 5 years from now, the Big East becomes more like the ACC and has, like, only, like, 2 or 3 bids every year in the tournament. I would not be shocked about that. And then you see these big conferences like the SEC, Big 10 getting like 14 bids, like 10 bids, double-digit bids, and then all these small conferences getting just 1 or 2 bids or so. We're already seeing it happen with American. American used to get multi-bids in the conference. They used to have Houston in the conference, Cincinnati, SMU. Rutgers used to be in that conference for like a year or two. Louisville used to play in that conference, and now it's just Memphis. I honestly think Memphis is probably gonna like transition into like either the SEC or the Big 12 for Memphis like very soon. I would not be shocked if they transition into another conference, because that American conference right now is an afterthought. I don't even know if I can put it on the same wavelength honestly right now as the A10 in the Mountain West. I think it's more like Conference USA Sunbelt level right now for the American. It's gotten to be that bad. Like, I don't know how they can generate any money out of that conference based on the conference tournament that they just had. If you watch the American conference tournament, they had a bunch of empty seats in the arena. Florida takes the lead back 31-30. Like, this is really not a good sign for smaller conference schools. I think we're going to see a lot of conferences start to dissolve. A bunch of teams. St. Francis is the first in what I feel like could be many, because right now we have over 360 Division 1 schools. St. Francis just announced that they would drop from D1 to D3, so they're going to be playing in the President Athletic Conference over the PAC. So they're playing basically against Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia. So they play against Case Western Reserve, which is the top team in that conference for most of those sports. Penn State, Altoona's in that conference. Washington and Jefferson, they take a big step down into D3. What helps out them is that, see, I do broadcasting for Stonehill. Stonehill was the replacement team for Bryant after Bryant left to go to the America East. Stonehill moved up from D2 to D1 and played in the NEC. Stonehill, when they started off at D1, they had an actual rival with Merrimack, who was in-state. And then Merrimack just announced that they would transition over to the Metro Atlantic. So Merrimack and Sacred Heart went to the Metro Atlantic, and now the closest team to Stonehill is 3 hours away over in LIU, FDU, and Wagner. All those schools are 3 hours away. Well, there's rumblings out of the NEC that LIU might be transitioning off to another conference, or they might be taking a step down alongside St. Francis and going to a D3, such as the Skyline, for them. So that's what I heard rumors about, that LIU Brooklyn might be transitioning off to like possibly a D3 if they don't continue D1. St. Francis, if they had won that game for St. Francis, there's a good chance that they would have stayed as a Division I team in the NEC. But what crushed them was a couple years ago that Robert Morse broke off from that conference and they transferred into the Horizon for them. So a big part of the problem for St. Francis was that they're going D3. Big issue for that was that Chicago State joined the conference. Chicago State's not a Northeast team. This conference specifically is called the Northeast Conference, and Chicago State just randomly joins the Northeast Conference this past season instead of applying for the Horizon League or the OVC. So it really threw off the geographics way off in this conference. So we got flights halfway across the country for teams out in the New York City metro area like FDU, LIU, Wagner, Stonehill from Mass, flying all the way out to play conference games against Chicago State. And then you got St. Francis that is in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania, around an hour east of Pittsburgh. And they're traveling all over the place. So, like, none of these travel places make sense for them, going all the way to the New York City metro area, heading all the way to Massachusetts to play Stonehill, heading all the way to Chicago State. It's like, what's going on in this conference? The only thing that helped them out was that they get to play a conference game against Mercyhurst, which Mercyhurst is out in Erie. So that's the closest team to them now for the foreseeable future, this season and next season, until they drop to D3 for them. And then who knows what's going to happen if they can fill the spot, because right now the NEC is at the minimum member level. You have to have so many members to get the auto bid into the NCAA tournament, which I believe they're at a minimum right now. They would need a new team to join that conference in order to get an auto bid, because then that conference would just be competing and they wouldn't be allowed to hold a conference tournament if they can't get another member to join into the NEC for next season, because they got way too few teams in that conference. So yeah, it's really concerning. That could be the first out of many dominoes that falls, because I work as a broadcaster for an NEC school. I'm at Stonehill for the NEC school, and like there's concern right now that they're in terms of like revenue and stuff like that throughout the conference, since they lost St. Francis. Like, the question is, how are they going to keep up? Like, there's some real concern going on right now about this with the smaller conferences. Yeah, so it's all about money, and now it's basically like a group of 50 schools with the Big Ten, the SEC, the Big 12 that's owning college basketball. The ACC is now thought as like an academic conference that doesn't like put like a bunch of athletic teams into elite grouping categories. They got 2 academic schools now playing in the ACC, such as Stanford and Cal. It's a mess. It's really a mess right now. What's going on? We got Stanford and Cal traveling all the way across the country. Like, how can you justify that when you're playing in the baseball team, you're playing in the softball team, and you got games that get rained out and cancellations, and you have to travel all the way from UC Berkeley to play a weekend series at Virginia, and then you have to travel back, and then you have to fly back the next weekend to play another weekend series at BC. It makes zero sense. Halftime probably going to be over within the next 10 minutes or so. So yeah, so that's my whole take about like what's going on right now, current landscape of sports. We're probably going to see a lot more D1 mid-majors go D2, D3, winning. Like, wouldn't shock me if there's another 5 schools by the end of June, because July is when the season starts off. And yeah, travel is a major issue on that. I don't know. I was looking at the conference breakdowns the other day for like mid-major conference breakdowns. Like, what the hell is Northeastern doing in the CAA right now? Like, they've been there for years, but that makes no sense. Because you got all these Boston colleges that's playing in much closer conferences, like America East. Like, that makes no sense why they're not a member of the America East right now for Northeastern. They're playing teams out in, like, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. They're not even close. I think the closest team in that conference is Delaware. Yeah, I got that fear right now with the Big East. I really do get that fear that we might see Providence and URI play in the same conference within like the next 5 years. And it's probably not going to be a good sign. I heard rumblings about URI that this might be it for Archie Miller too. So there's been some rumors out there about Archie Miller. Yeah, UMass is supposed to be going to the MAC next year. It's a mess. Like, what in the world is UMass doing out in the MAC playing against Ohio teams? That's going to make no sense. I don't see how that elevates them at all. Because they're struggling to be competitive at the A10. Yeah, last time they made the tournament was my senior year of high school. They got blown out as a 6th seed against Tennessee. Yeah, MLB started today. Oh, here's one. You got New Mexico State playing with... They're in a conference where they're not even close to any of the teams. I think it's CUSA. Yeah, New Mexico State's playing in the CUSA with Liberty, Middle Tennessee, Jacksonville State, Kennesaw, Louisiana Tech, Western Kentucky, FIU, and then there's a couple other teams that's closer by to their area, UTEP and Sam Houston. Like, that makes no sense. You got New Mexico State flying out to like the Southeast to play teams like Liberty and Kennesaw. Yeah, so UMass, I got to see when that's going to happen. UMass to the MAC. So it's next year. So UMass is going to join the MAC starting in 2025-26. So next season, they're going to be joining the MAC. They used to be a MAC member for football. I mean, good luck there. Good luck with 10-hour drives for 10-hour bus rides to Kent State and Bowling Green, Ball State. It makes no sense right now with all this realignment. Like, I'm hoping that like some off-season the NCAA committee can really just focus on some sort of like regional conference or something like that to be able to help out these teams in terms of travel, because this is getting way out of whack. And I bet you nobody's complaining about it for football. People start to complain about it for basketball. Mick Cronin did for UCLA when they were flying all the way across the country to play games in like the Midwest and the East Coast. And I can only imagine what the non-revenue sports, or the sports that only get a crowd of like 100 people at their games, like baseball, softball, like what those people are saying right now with this whole like conference realignment. When you got Oregon baseball traveling across the U.S. to play Rutgers in a 3-game series, and then it rains the entire weekend in New Jersey, and you can't play any games, and you have to make it up midweek. Like, it's really a mess what's going on right now. They only had 4 teams in the conference for the MEAC for baseball, so Norfolk State, Coppin State, Delaware State, and Maryland Eastern Shore had to join forces with the NEC as associate members to take them to be part of NEC for baseball. They only had 4 conference members starting in 2023. So then what happened last year was that Stonehill traveled out to Maryland Eastern Shore, which went 0-48 last year, to play a 3-game conference series. The field was flooded from Maryland Eastern Shore, so they couldn't play any of those games. So what happened in the standings is that Stonehill missed the NEC tournament by 1 game because they couldn't make up those games against Maryland Eastern Shore. If they would have made up those games, which it should have happened, they would have gone 3-0 most likely against the team that went winless at 0-48 last year. They would have went to the NEC tournament, would have a chance to win their conference tournament. But just crazy landscape that for college sports, that it's just a complete business now, and it's not even about geographies or anything, which is really sad because you're taking all the rivalry stuff out of equation and everything. It's just like these players aren't even treated as student athletes anymore. So here we go, 51-40, about to get back to action here. Yeah, I've had the stash for a very long time. I actually shaved my beard before like the start of the game, so I don't have as much like facial hair as I did like earlier today. BYU really needing to get going here in the second half. They dump it off down low, missed a shot at the rim from point-blank range off the mark, no good by Kiba Keita, and it was deflected out of bounds off Alabama. If you're doing the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring the notification bell as well if you guys would like to be notified here for future live streams in the channel as we get going here for the second half. Or check that, they actually reversed it on the floor. It's out of bounds off of BYU, so this is Alabama ball. 40-38, Florida up by 2 right now at the half against Maryland. Opening possession for Alabama. Mark Sears having a big game for him so far today, leading the way with 17. Dribble handoff off to Sears towards his left. Gives it around the perimeter over to Phelan. Phelan, kick out to the wing. Nelson on top, finds Sears. Sears dribbles up. Over to Youngblood. Youngblood at the elbow. Out to the corner. Back outside. Sears pull-up J from the parking lot. Missed the 3 straight away. And a 32-footer. Sears swings it out on top over to Youngblood. Nelson lobs it up over the top. Couldn't finish there. Missed it off the front rim by Clifford Amarui. And here goes BYU running the floor. Extra pass made to the corner. Corner 3. Swash. That is Trevin Nell, who is back into the game. Nell suffered that injury in the first half. He was bleeding from his nose in half number 1, but it looks like he is good, all smiles, ready to go. And what happened here? Somebody get teed up for something here? Yeah. BYU just got teed up. Looked like it was on Trevin Nell, fired up after he made this 3. Yeah, I don't know what he said. Looks like Trevin Nell called for taunting by the officials got teed up, and head coach Kevin Young not happy at all about that. He made the three, said some words right next to the official who is standing like 2 feet away from him. Alabama makes both of the free throws. Alabama up by 10. That's a critical call right there. You got to keep your cool. I know that you want to go off here second half. You're pumped up with that made three. You got hurt earlier in this game, and that's a big change in the game right now. Should be an 8-point game instead of a 10, as we got a defensive foul as well charged to Trevin Nell here. So Trevin Nell called in the foul, and that was close. He tried to take the charge. LeBaron Phelan came in driving right on Nell, lowered a boom, but called it on Nell on the personal foul. So that's his third. So Trevin Nell right now, 3 personal fouls. Alabama underneath, about to get the inbound. Lob goes outside to the perimeter. Bad pass picked off by BYU. Running the floor out of the break, and they shove it through with a two-handed flush by the Cougars. As Richie Saunders out in transition. The only thing helping out BYU in this game today is that Alabama's been struggling with the turnovers tonight, missing the shot from point-blank range. And again, another shooting foul charged to BYU. So BYU, 3 quick fouls to begin the second half. I took Alabama in this one. I do like BYU on the line to cover a 5.5-point spread, but I do like Alabama to win this game. Two free throws coming up here by Clifford Amarui, a 70% free throw shooter. And the first one's good. Second free throw by Amarui. That one's right down the middle. 55-45 right now. 10-point advantage for Alabama. The track meet first to 100. Gonna win this one. BYU attacking the paint. That's an open layup line there. Up and in off the glass by Yegor Demeen. 8-point game. Crimson Tide with possession. Holloway around the perimeter. Slides it off to his right. Handoff back to Holloway from Amarui. Finds Sears around the outside. Sears at the top. Swings it outside. Youngblood off the catch. Fires a three. Missed off the rim short. Deflected out to Sears. Jacks up an open three. Straight away. Bullseye. He's got it. Mark Sears. Big time shot. Big time game for him with 22 right now. Just drilled his 6-3 in this game as BYU missed a triple. Ripped away in the glasses. Nelson with a defensive rebound for Alabama. Up by 11 here for the roll time. Mark Sears taking over throughout this entire game. Double team. Gets it off to Nelson. Handoff. Sears. Pocket pass. Over to Nelson. Lobs it up over the top behind the defense. Cutting backdoor. Clifford Amarui shuts the door with a two-hand alley-oop jam. 13 points up here for Alabama. BYU in trouble right now. Struggling to hang with the speed of Alabama. Alabama picks up a reach-and foul charge to Youngblood. Man, the ball movement just so crisp for Alabama. That was a beautiful play. Nice pocket pass by Sears. Led Nelson to roll down, and then Nelson was able to find a backdoor cutter where Clifford Amarui was able to shove it through. Inbound to the outside goes to Kiba Keita. Saunders with possession. Saunders, baseline rudder, rattled out. Keita couldn't control it as he tipped it wide off the mark, and Alabama with possession. Nelson off the run out. Nelson got it stripped, lost it, and turnover. Ripped away by Keita here with a steal. And BYU up the floor will draw the reach and foul charge to Sears. Sears, heavy contact down the far side. So Keita. Mark Sears, quite a bit of contact there off the dribble. That will be his second personal foul. Yeah, just more experience in these bigger time games. They've been here before for this Alabama squad. BYU last year got knocked out against Duquesne in the opening round. Sears off the trailer with a steal by Holloway, and Mark Sears buries another triple. That was absolutely sick right there. What a play by Alabama. Mark Sears trailing the play. The behind the back bounce pass set up off this steal. Aiden Holloway cuts off the dribble, strips the ball handler. Richie Saunders takes it in transition, and a lead out to the trailer right behind him off a behind the back bounce pass to Mark Sears behind the defense in transition. Jacks up a transition three and buries it. Timeout on the floor. BYU burns one with 16:48 left to go in the second. Mark Sears, he came to play. Holy smokes. This is the Alabama team that we saw make a deep run last year. And if they play like this, they're going to be making another deep run in this tournament this year. 25 points by Mark Sears. Just drilled his 7th made three of the game. 20 for 40 from three. That is insane. I don't know if there's any information here that can give me the record for most made threes by a team in an NCAA tournament game, but I mean, this is going to be closing the gap right now. I would imagine 20 made threes by Alabama right now. Like, holy smokes. It's going to be a record, or very, very close to an NCAA tournament record. Tonight it will be Duke against Arizona. So I'm going to cover the earlier one because I get up for work tomorrow at 6. So I won't be up that late for Arkansas, Texas Tech. Most made threes in a March Madness game. I would imagine Steph Curry's going to be in this list. Wow, no. Carson Edwards, 10. 10 made threes, 2019. That's tied for second with Jack Golke. Wow, so Jeff Fryer, 11 made threes, 1990. Is the most made threes in a March Madness tournament game. So yeah, that's something to follow tonight. Most made threes in a March Madness game, 11 made threes back in 1990. Right now, Mark Sears is 7 for 10 from three-point range. Jack Golke, Carson Edwards, both with 10 threes each alongside Robert Sally in 2009, Freddie Banks in 1987 with 10 made threes. Carson Edwards had 9 made threes for Purdue in 2019. Yeah, he had gigantic games in that tournament. So Mark Sears, all he would need is 2 more threes. He would be top 6, tied for, in an NCAA tournament game for most made threes. Still got a long way left to go in this one. $16-point lead currently. So much firepower by Alabama. BYU right to left on the floor. Having a ton of trouble keeping up with the speed of Alabama tonight. Keita, top of the key, sends it over to Damien. Down low, Saunders. Off the post up, backs his way, and he scores up and off the glass. Kind of interesting how Robert Morris was able to give Alabama a fight. And this game's a little bit more lopsided than we thought. Still, we got a lot of game left to go. 34-10 bench points in favor of BYU. Alabama with the ball at the left baseline. Holloway gets tripped up and fouled. That's now the 4th charge to BYU this half. So that is charged to Keita. Yeah, 3-point shots, that says it all. Oh, Alabama's 20 for 40 from the floor. They're not 20 for 40 from 3. I was going to say it's way too much. 20 for 40 from the floor. Then they bricked it. They're now 20 for 41. Alabama's made 14 threes. 44%, 14 for 32 as Alabama turns it over. That's now turnover number 10 in the game. BYU in transition. They scored a layup plus the foul. Yegor Demeen with a bucket. And an and one coming up here for BYU. So a little bit of signs of life right now for BYU to get themselves winning 12. We're going to take the media break as well. Under 16 minutes left to go as we head to the media timeout. Alright, we got 16 minutes left. If you guys are new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring the notification bell as well if you guys would like to be notified here for future live streams on the channel. A quick look at that Florida-Maryland game. Right now, Florida leads at halftime 40-38 over Maryland. Alex Condon went down with a pretty significant injury for Florida for their top big man, so that's a crushing blow right there for Florida if they can't get him back in that game. I'm going to see if there's any updates for that. Yeah, so this is not looking like a good sign here. So Alex Condon evaluated with an ankle injury. No timetable yet to return. He is questionable now. So according to CBS's John Rothstein, Alex Condon questionable to return tonight's Sweet 16 game against Maryland, according to a school spokesman. So yeah, that's a tough loss. He is the top front court player on the team. He left the game when Florida was up 18-9 at that point, and now Maryland's only down by 2 at halftime. Yeah, this game's really flown by tonight. Not a lot of fouls at all in that opening half, which was good. Here's a quick sponsor read here. This stream is sponsored by BetUS, where you can bet on this season's sports action. It's an A+ rated sports book, which has been running since 1994. It's available to all 50 U.S. states. With BetUS, you can bet on your favorite sports teams, players, and sporting events. And for new sports bettors, you go to the BetUS website. You'll receive a 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits of up to $2,000. So check out my sponsor, BetUS. The link is posted in the description of the video, pinned into the chat to get started. BetUS has been changing the game for over 30 years. Back to action. One free throw here at the line with an and one by Yegor Demine, and he drills it. 11-point game currently. 16 minutes remaining. Alabama left to right on the floor with a possession. Both of these teams shooting the ball really well tonight. The free throw line, Alabama 9 for 10. BYU a perfect 6 for 6. Aiden Holloway at the left wing. Dribbles towards his right. Holloway sends it out to the corner. Back over to Holloway at the left baseline. And off to Sears. Pull up Jay from the edge of the March Madness logos. He took the 3. Missed off the mark. No good. A rebound controlled by Keita for BYU. Cougars gotta go. Down by 11. Saunders dribbles up. Now here to the mid-block. Bounce pass on top. Up fake here at the top of the key. And attacking inside the paint is Trevin Nell. Taking a lot of hard shots and hard falls tonight. Gets tripped up and fouled. That is on Nelson, who picks up the personal foul. Now he's on the floor, so this will stay BYU ball. Both of these teams with 4 personal fouls tonight. Couple substitutions right now for Alabama as Grant Nelson and Clifford Abarui check out. Jaron Stevenson right now on the floor for the Roll Tide. They go deep. They got 5 guys off the bench they're playing tonight. They go through a 10-man rotation. BYU going through a really, really deep rotation tonight. They get themselves 11 players into the rotation for the Cougars. Inbound for BYU. They'll take a 3 off the catch. No good off the back rim. Misfire by BYU. And a loose ball foul by Alabama stays BYU possession. Once again, BYU in another substitution. Number 45, Foseni Traore checks into the game. And Keita will take a seat on the bench. Nell, underneath the hoop, will be the inbound passer. Inbound goes to the elbow. Dribble handoff here over to Saunders. Saunders lost the handle out to the corner, though. Right baseline dribble here for BYU as they blow a layup poorly, hit the left side of the glass, and the referees right now blew the whistle talking about it as Yegor Demine, left side of the glass, and possession arrow states BYU according to the officials here. That was very, very odd. Yeah, he went up, came back down, and then got fouled. But so that's Alabama's 5th they picked up, actually. So instead, he could have got called for the up and down right there. 5 of the shot clock. BYU with possession. Saunders looking to turn a corner. He slipped. And the referees blow the whistle again. Ruled that Alabama commits a foul, reaching in. So number 6 here for a personal foul charged to Alabama. Yeah, Alabama's gonna start to cool down right now. They're playing way too aggressive defensively and start to reach in. Catch and fire 3. That is good by Yegor Demine from the perimeter. That is one of the very rare made threes in this game for BYU. Just 3 for 17 from 3. They're only down by 8, though. Holloway, drive, kick out to the left corner outside of Aiden Holloway. Holloway pulls up on a J over Demine. Swoosh! Wow, that's a big-time shot there from outside by the roll tide. Major 3 by Aiden. Holloway's got 10. Demine at the mid-block. Demine guarded by Sears. Fall away, blocked by Sears. Here goes Alabama with possession, up by 11, looking to push it. Holloway at the top. Holloway shovels a Sears, looking for the knockout punch right here. No good off the back rim, battle for the rebound. And it goes right back over to BYU in the defensive glass. Trevin Nell takes it quickly up the floor, finds his teammate number 3, Yegor Demine, turns the corner, got it to go, and 1. Making this a game right now. 66-57, a free throw pending here by Yegor Demine. Snake on the stream, welcome back in. Cap fan, welcome back on board. And yeah, feel free to join me back in for Duke later tonight, taking on Arizona. I'll be back live in around an hour or so from now for that one. Hit us up in the chat who you guys like to win this one here tonight. Alabama or BYU. One shot at the free throw line, and Demine drills it. Hanging in right now for BYU, down by 8 currently. That can change in the flash because Alabama's so red hot from the perimeter, as they will draw a BYU foul here. That is Holloway attacking to the low block. So 2 free throws coming up at the line for Alabama with Aiden Holloway. First one, that rattles in. And second one is good. So 68-58 right now. BYU with possession. Dawson Baker slid it over to Mag, who took it inside the key, and Alabama picks up a foul. They're in the bonus right now for BYU. So there'll be 1-and-1 free throws coming up here for the Cougars. Yeah, Mark Sears got to watch out about the foul trouble. That's the only thing not helping out Alabama here at half 2. That's Sears' 3rd personal foul. Mohamed Diabate with 3. Everybody else with 2, 1, or 0. So it looks like Chance McMillan has been officially listed. Ooh. Oh no! Wow. I'm getting conflicting reports here. 1 minute ago. Okay, so 1 minute ago per Rocco Miller about Chance McMillan. He is not listed as a starter tonight for Chance McMillan. 68-61, Carly. BYU just missed the pass and the run out there. That sail too tall, went out of bounds. It will be Alabama ball. Yeah, so not listed as a starter per the starter sheet. Yeah, I'm trying to see like if these people are legit on Twitter. Looks like he was at practice getting shots up yesterday for Chance McMillan, though. So, yeah, I guess like a question mark still. John Rothstein put that he's a game-time decision. See, I see stuff on Twitter that another account posted that he's going, but that doesn't have like any sources or anything to it. Alabama just made a shot, just went to the free throw line as well. 72-61 right now. 73-61. This game is just crazy how much it flies right by. Down by 12 currently for BYU. Cougars have it at the left wing perimeter. Dallin Hall off the dribble towards his right. Jacks up a three. Off the back rim, no good. The battle for the rebound. Tipped out to the perimeter. Offensive rebound right back to Hall. Moves it off to the corner. Trey Stewart. Shovel pass. Underneath, inside the key. Goes out to the wing. Damien fires a three. That is way off the mark as they hit the glass. And the rebound controlled by Holloway for Alabama. Alabama looking to stretch out this lead here. 12-point advantage as he swings it across the floor. Holloway. Off to Stevenson. Stevenson attacks the paint and he scores up and then off the glass. 75-61. We're looking at a 100-point night. On to the Roll Tide tonight. And Alabama been racking up a bunch of fouls. That's going to be their 9th in the second half here. 9 personal fouls now. BYU going to head to the free throw line once we come out of this break, but things looking really good right now for the Crimson Tide. So many different players can put the ball into the basket, making them just so dangerous. The number 1 scoring team in the land this year, putting up an average of 90 points per game. 12 minutes left to go as Alabama leads 75-61. All right, Alabama's got 3 guys in double figures. 25 points scored by Mark Sears. 7 made threes by Sears, 15 by Aiden Holloway off the bench, 10 points by Clifford Amarui with 6 rebounds. BYU, 3 players each with double figures. Richie Saunders, 16. Yegor Damian with 15. Trevin Nell's got 10. It's just another level of basketball being displayed here. Just a speed game, and Alabama just torching BYU up and down the floor at just a high rate. Yeah, Alabama's quadrupling up BYU in made threes. 16 made threes tonight for Alabama. BYU just 4 for 20 from 3. And Alabama's 16 for 37. Just another level of shooting that we're seeing going on right now. Florida up against Maryland 46-42 with 17:10 left to play. Some big news there. Alex Condon, their big man for Florida, got injured in the first half, and he is questionable to return. Yeah, so what we got word on yesterday was John Rothstein of CBS Sports put out Grant McCaslin told reporters that Texas Tech's Chance McMillan upper body injury will be a game-time decision for the Thursday Sweet 16 game against Arkansas. So yeah, there's nothing about that whether he'll play yet or not. Now, somebody else on Twitter put that he's officially been listed as active, but I don't know where that person's getting their information from. They got no sources or anything. They're just an account. Yeah, they're just an account, and somebody commented you better not be lying on it. There's not really much information, so it looks like he's a game time decision for tonight. So still a question mark right now. 38-12 points in the paint in favor of BYU, but where this game has been decided is the ability to make threes and the inability to make threes. And Alabama's drilled 16 threes, BYU just 4 made threes tonight. BYU came into the game the number 31 best team in the nation in three-point shooting percentage. First shot is good. Florida leads Maryland right now 50-42. BYU, first one was made at the line. Second shot is good as well. So back to a 12-point game. Yeah, I would not be shocked if Ole Miss takes out Michigan State and then Ole Miss takes out Auburn. Ole Miss has been looking really good in this bracket. They get 6 guys scoring in double figures too, and yeah, they're definitely not forgetting their loss in the SEC tournament against Auburn either. If Auburn takes them lightly, then Ole Miss has the chance to knock them out. BYU just committed a quick foul, so that's number 7 charged to BYU. Alabama in the bonus. First one is good. So all of a sudden, instead of a speed game, we're getting free throws here recently. LeBaron Phelan, first one was good. Second free throw was good as well. 77-63. BYU with possession at the left wing. Dallin Hall dribbles up inside the key. Hall floats up the runner. No good off the glass. A rebound secured by Nelson. 14-point lead. They love to push it up and down the floor. I mean, you can be thinking about clock here if you're Alabama. Start to slow down this ball, but they're just going to go for jump shot after jump shot. No good off the mark, and the 3 by Phelan to get the offensive rebound, and they swoosh down another triple. Aiden Holloway having a big game off the bench. They lead by 17. 80-63. That's the 17th made 3 of the game for Alabama. Quick runner is scored by BYU. Man, they are just playing so fast, determined to reach 100 plus on the board here. Nelson inside the key. Nelson puts up a shot. Nelson off the back rim, no good. A rebound secured here for BYU. BYU trying to play with speed here. Dawson Baker. Baker at the right wing. Lobs it over to the top of the key. Yeah, I was really concerned about Michigan State in that game. They barely could hit a jump shot. I believe 85% of their shots approximately were scored on layups. So if you just look at the box scores like a lot of people do and don't actually watch the film of the actual game, you guys are probably like, oh yeah, Michigan State's the 2 seed. They're going to beat the 6 seed Ole Miss rather easily. But where I say for this, you got to give Ole Miss some respect. Chris Beard's done an absolute just amazing coaching job, just low key. One heck of a head coach, and they got 6 guys who scored double figures. I think that roster is really constructed well for Ole Miss. That roster is a mix of newcomers and also players that stayed throughout the program at Ole Miss with a lot of upper-class players. They got 10 seniors in their team. Michigan State starts, I believe, 2 or 3 freshmen on their team. Yeah, that game was really a concern for Michigan State. I've been saying to myself, because I picked Michigan State to go to the Final Four, because I based it off quad 1 wins. They had like 14 quad 1 wins for them and multiple big-time wins in the road. I thought that when the tournament time comes that those are really good wins per value. in a tournament environment that you're going to go far based on the teams that you've beaten this season. But based on when I saw them on film against New Mexico, when I called that game, it was not so good. They could not make a jumper to save their lives. There was nothing from the mid-range, nothing for a deep two, and barely made any threes. They went just like something like 4 for 19 in that game from three-point range, as Alabama been ripping down the threes all game long. It's 83-65. BYU will head right back to the free throw line. And this is 2 free throws coming up. Double bonus time. Either happen on the contact. So they'll get 2 free throws either way here coming up in the double bonus. Double bonus rest of the stretch in this game. So down to 10:06 left to go. 2 free throws here for BYU. First one is no good. It's a tough miss free throw there. So that was Dallin Hall who missed the first free throw. Feel free to join me back in for Duke later tonight, taking on Arizona. Yeah, Alabama's definitely going to drop 100. Just 17 more points they need to do so. Put up 51 in the first half. Second free throw is good. They already got 32 points right now, midway through the second half. I mean, look at the score. You're up by 15 here currently. There's no signs of slowing down the basketball, though, for Alabama. They just keep on running and gunning. And they're destined to get 100, 110. They're trying to make this like an NBA-level type score. Or so Alabama turned it over underneath the rim. BYU up the floor, pushing tempo, circling around low block. Kick out to the corner, Richie Saunders. Outside to Nell, they'll slow it down to the perimeter. And they are down right now currently, trailing by 17, and the shot clock's down to 10. BYU on an air ball 3, and it was saved at the baseline, but they tapped it back out to an Alabama player. In transition, Holloway fires a transition 3. Bullseye, baby. He drills it. 20-point lead right now. Or it's a 18-point lead, 86-68. And there we have a timeout taken on the floor by BYU. It's 86-68 currently. 18-point lead. Yeah, well, these are the teams that Purdue had played. They played High Point and they played McNeese. So they get their first real test of physicality against Houston. That's an interesting game because that's technically a home game for Purdue because that game's played in Indianapolis. But either way, I really like Houston in that game. I like Houston on the spread in that game because Purdue came into this tournament limping, and like there's so much athleticism on Houston. Like I feel like Purdue's going to have a lot of difficulty going up against Houston's physicality. Usually those sharpshooting type of teams like Purdue is, they have a lot of difficulty with physicality. Purdue is one of the worst interior defenses in all of college hoops. And that's a concern because you get guys offensive rebounding the basketball, cleaning up misses. You got guys flying in all over the place for rebound putbacks like Joseph Tugler, Jawan Roberts, backing down defenders with a baby hook inside the key, getting into the floater game for 2, playing bully ball. They bullied Gonzaga. Gonzaga wasn't the typical 8 seed. Gonzaga should have been, if they were, as Alabama has a run out off this long miss, and they score up and in off the glass. There's a 20-point lead right now as Youngblood able to set it in. 9 minutes left to go. 13 points by Chris Youngblood. Yeah, this game is getting out of reach here currently. At the low block, Saunders goes up, gets fouled. 2 free throws coming up with 8:53. Yeah, I didn't do that this year. I think it's because I had like a busy week leading up to tonight, so I didn't do the second chance ones this year. I just made it. I just like made one myself, but maybe next year once again. Yeah, last year I remember a lot of people's brackets were shredded. I think a lot of people this year is not as terrible as last year. Yeah, my bracket hasn't been that well. I'm around like the 45 percentile in my bracket this year. It hasn't done well, but I got like a bunch of points remaining because I still have 7 out of the 8 teams remaining in the Elite 8. 88 to 70. Both of the free throws were good. Yeah, only one I really regret right now is St. John's. They took St. John's to the Elite 8, so that's the only one I don't have in Elite 8 as Alabama buries the 3. Holy smokes. 91, they hit their season average with 8.5 minutes left to go. BYU out to the corner. Mag with a 3, connects on it. Mark Sears, 8 made threes tonight. Kick out corner, 3, swash. Chris Youngblood from the perimeter. They're trying to set a tournament record right now for current points. 94-73. Down to 8 minutes left to go in the second half. And trading back-to-back threes as BYU strokes one down. That is Richie Saunders. Hopefully he took the over in this game. 94-76. Alabama ain't no stopping just yet. Step back 3 in the air. Mark Sears buries another one. Gonna take a look at the record. Mark Sears is hungry for that record tonight, folks. 9 for 14 from 3. For Mark Sears, he has got himself 31 points tonight. BYU, a lot of dribbling this time around the perimeter. Mark Sears, now number 6 in NCAA tournament history in most made threes in a single game. With his next made 3, Mark Sears can tie Carson Edwards, Jack Golke, and 2 others with 10 made threes, which were ranked second all time in an NCAA tournament game. Just an insane game tonight by Mark Sears. 97-76. 7:14 left to go as we have a timeout on the floor. Holy smokes. There is no defense in this game. And Alabama just shooting a ton of threes and connecting on most of them. Here's the numbers tonight. This is going to be a tournament record for most made threes by a team. Alabama is 22 for 44 from 3. 50% even. 22 for 44. That is like, that's elite NBA level. With that, like, a team that does that at the NBA level in the 48-minute games dropping like 130, 140 in that game. Alabama's doing that tonight at the college level in a 40-minute game. They got 97 right now. That is insane. 9 made threes by Mark Sears. 6 made threes off the bench by Aiden Holloway. 4 made threes by Chris Youngblood. 2 made threes by LeBaron Fillon. 1 3 by Aiden Sherrill. Just insane. Mark Sears has 9 out of the 22 made threes. Mark Sears with 7:14 left to go is tied for 6th most made threes in a single game in an NCAA tournament. If he hits another 3, he would be tied for 2nd. He would need 2 more threes to hit 11 threes. If he hits 11 threes in this game, he would tie a record. If he hits 12 threes in this game, which he's 3 made threes away, he would break the all-time record set in 1990 in a tournament game by Jeff Fryer. That's insane. NCAA Division I most made threes this season, 2025. I want to see if there's a stat for that. I believe there is. On like NCAA.com. This Alabama team looks really, really dangerous. Wow. Yeah, that's a record. Most made threes in an NCAA tournament game tonight. Alabama, as a team with 22 made threes, has broke the record, a previous record set by Loyola Marymount back in 1990 with 21 made threes against Michigan. That historic LMU offense back in the early 90s. I remember playing like the throwback video games. I had March Madness 2006 for PlayStation 2, and under the instant classics was LSU versus Loyola Marymount. The score was in the 140s, and Shaq played for LSU. Yeah, those were back in like the late 80s, early 90s. Loyola Marymount over the WCC. They had a dynasty going for themselves around like 30 plus years ago. 97-77 with 7:10 left to go. This is insane. Alabama, a single game record in the NCAA tournament right now with 22 threes and counting. We're down to 7 minutes left. Mark Sears, too shy away from tying the record. He's got 9 threes tonight. This will put him up into second place all time in the tournament. Slides it over to his right, Youngblood. Back outside to Sears. Sears at the top of the key. Shake and bake. Lobs it over near side. Watch out for the big fella. Try to throw down the dunk. He blew the open slam dunk. Left-handed throw down by Clifford Amarui, but he missed it completely off the rim. And a turnover. Sears with a steal. Sears, runner, downhill, kick out to the corner. His teammate got it was short. Sears jacks up the 3, and he's got it. Bang, bang. Mark Sears, 100 on the board. He is one shy of tying the all-time record in a single game in NCAA tournament history. Just made his 10th made 3 tonight. 100-77 with 6:10 left to go. Saunders drives, attacks inside the paint. Runner connects on the 2. Hopefully you took the over in this game because we've hit it right now. 179 total points. 175.5 coming into tonight. Mark Sears, edge in the midcourt logo. Sears under 6 minutes left to go. 1 to tie the record. Sears at the top of the key. Mark Sears, pull-up J from the parking lot in a 3. There was a foul. It's on the offense for Alabama. Offensive foul. Holy smokes. Yup. Mark Sears looking like Steph Curry out here. 10 made threes, 34 points. CBS had to put 100 on the scoreboard. They can barely fit the numbers in. They had to make the zeros super, super thin. Holy smokes. Yeah, my good friend John, who was on the stream on Saturday, he picked Alabama to win the championship. Slow start against Robert Morris, but wow. Look what they look right now in the Sweet 16. Holy smokes. Winner of this game will face Duke or Arizona, the winner of that later tonight. Yup, what a game by Alabama here. 100. Don't see that too often. Florida leads Maryland 66-56 with under 10 minutes left to go. We are under 6 minutes left to go here with the score being 100-79. BYU with the ball. Just struggling, competing with the speed of Alabama tonight. Jumper misfired off the rim short to rebound secured by Nelson. Mark Sears, 1 made 3 away from tying the all-time record in a single game with 11 in NCAA tournament history. Sears kicks out to the corner, missed 3. Off the mark by Jaron Stevenson, deflected out of bounds off Alabama. Mark Sears tonight, 34 points, 10 made threes, 11 for 17 from the floor, 10 for 15 from 3, alongside 8 assists. He has scored or assisted on 23 out of the 31 made field goals right now. BYU came into this game 11-1 in their previous 12. The only team that was able to shut them down was Houston. in the Big 12 tournaments. Alabama just simply outscoring them, catching fire right now. BYU just scored off a runner inside the paint. What's good, Christian? Welcome in. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, Alabama, no cooling off in this one here. Just so red hot. Sorry to hear about your team, but wow, this Alabama team's in another level. Missed 3 off the rim short by Holloway. Got deflected out of bounds. It was off BYU, so it will stay Alabama ball. Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago, there was a stretch where Alabama, in like January, I think it was like 2023, they looked unstoppable. They were beating everybody by 30. They had a streak going where they were making like 15 plus threes per game in every single one of those games, torching the conference. They actually got knocked out that year against San Diego State in the Sweet 16. I took them to win the tournament that year. That was a shocking upset when they lost to San Diego State. But here they are 2 years later. You got to take certain steps up. For Alabama, they went to the Sweet 16 2 years ago, got upset by the national tournament runner-up San Diego State. And then last year they went to the Final Four. You got to take those steps up. And for Alabama, if they play like this, they're going to win it all right now. And I cannot believe I'm saying that because I picked Duke in my second chance bracket. I actually have Florida in my initial bracket that I put out after Selection Sunday. And it looked like after the SEC tournament, it was going to be Florida. As Florida was rolling right through the SEC, but holy smokes. Right now, this Alabama team, if they're shooting the ball like this, I don't think anybody can stop them. 100-81. BYU with a 3 off the back room, no good. And they dump it off with a two-handed flush being thrown down there by Keita. Alabama came into this game 356th in the nation in points allowed, giving up around 81 points allowed to opponents. Doesn't matter, though, because it seems like when they come into the tournament, that's when they start to care about defense. It seems like defense isn't a part of their game planning or anything, as Alabama just sunk another 3 from the quarter. And then when they get into the tournament, their size and length disrupt a lot of these teams. Their speed, it just wears down their opponents. Like, nobody is used to the speed that they play against. Hey, have a nice night, Jeffrey. Thanks for joining in, man. 34 points by Mark Sears. He is 1 3-point make away from tying an NCAA record. Currently tied for second in NCAA history with 10 made threes. 21 off the bench by Aiden Holloway. He has made 6 threes. 19 points by Chris Youngblood. Clifford Amaru with 10. And Grant Nelson, only 6 points tonight, but he is the leading rebounder with 10 rebounds. Really deep team here for Alabama. Holy smokes. What a game for Alabama. This is the shooting numbers tonight. They're 51% shooting, 32 for 63 from the floor, 24 for 50 from 3. They've attempted 13 twos. They've attempted 50 threes. And unlike the Celtics, who are just so dependent upon 3, usually when they lose games, it's because they shoot way more threes and have a cold night from 3 than 2s. This Alabama team is shooting 24 for 50 from 3. The shooting splits tonight are insane. 51% from the floor, 48% from 3, 94% at the free throw line, at 15 for 16 at the free throw line. Yeah, have a nice night, Jeffrey. Enjoy the rest of their night. See you hopefully back tomorrow. If you're new in the stream, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'll be back live later tonight covering Duke against Arizona if you'd like to join in. Florida leads Maryland 66-56 with just above 8 minutes left. This game right now, we got 3:24 remaining. And it is all Alabama. Mark Sears is definitely him. .34 points by Mark Sears. Yeah, this guy is like Jalen Brunson slash Steph Curry. Like two guys in one for Mark Sears. It's a fifth-year senior. He actually scored 3 more points per average last season than he's doing this season. Last year he averaged 21.5 points per game. This year he's averaging 18.6 points per game. His efficiency took a nosedive this year. So last year he was shooting around 51%. This year he's shooting 40%. Last year he shot 44% from 3. This year he's shooting 33% from 3. It's really interesting. And now all of a sudden he's caught fire. This guy here, Mark Sears, just started his 150th career game in his collegiate career today. Started off his collegiate career in 2020 with Ohio. What a career. 2020 through 2022 playing in a MAC for Ohio. First team All-MAC back in 2021 and 22. And then he's been playing for Alabama since 2022. Just started his 150th collegiate game tonight. First free throw is no good by BYU. First to 100 wins. Mark Sears right now on the bench. He'll go down as the number 2 3-point shooter, tying Jack Golke from last year and Carson Edwards in 2019 in NCAA tournament history with 10 made threes tonight if this stands. BYU down 103-84. Alabama finally going to slow it down as they reach their target score being 100. First to 100 wins, that is Alabama. Alabama actually playing a Houston-style offense, slowing down tempo completely. Number 0 with possession, that is LeBaron Phelan as BYU picks up a foul. This will send Alabama into the bonus, 1-1 at the free throw line. Yeah, if Alabama beats Duke on Saturday, they're going to win it all. Alabama will win it all. They're probably going to face a couple other SEC teams in the way. So if Alabama beats Duke, then they're going to face either Kentucky or Tennessee or Houston or Purdue. There's a good chance that could be an SEC school possibly out of that. I did pick Houston in my Final Four. They split the free throws. 20-point lead, 3 minutes left to go. Right now, Florida pouring it on against Maryland. 72-56 with under 7:20 remaining. So, SEC about to go 2-0 in the Sweet 16 right now. Not a good start for the Big 10 and the Big 12. About to go 0-1 in the Sweet 16. ACC with their lone team remaining. Back in action against the Big 12 later tonight. I'll be also streaming Duke against Arizona after this. Feel free to join in for that one if you guys would like. That would be wild. Michigan, Alabama in the championship game, that would be wild. I get a feeling if Alabama upsets Duke, it's gonna be Florida against Alabama, most likely. And that's gonna be an all-out shootout, that game. 106-84. Holy smokes, I've been covering these games since 2019 on my channel. I've never seen a game compared to this. Just incredible. Absolutely incredible what Alabama did tonight. I don't know who's stopping this pace of play. See, Duke hasn't faced a team of this caliber this season. I actually took Duke in my second chance bracket to win it all. This is just all out incredible. Alabama, Florida. If that happens, Florida smashed Alabama 104-82 in the SEC tournament. Florida beat Alabama once again 99-94 this season. So that's interesting because Florida's 2-0 against Alabama. Yet this Alabama team tonight just buried in another three. That's an NCAA tournament record for most made threes here, folks, what Alabama's doing tonight. 25 made threes as a team. Mark Sears drilled 10 threes tonight. That is tied for second most threes in a single game in NCAA tournament history. 74-58, Florida leads Maryland's lob over the top, and a roll down to the bucket for Alabama. 111-86. Wow. This was an all-out masterclass. Just insane. They're going to have an and one coming up here at the line. Alabama rolls out their bench. Number 45 checks onto the floor right now for Alabama with Max Skarnowski, as they just empty out their bench in this game. I'll be back in a little bit later tonight covering Duke against Arizona. Tip-off slightly past 9:45-ish. I think they're going to put it back a little bit because this game went slightly over the time period. Check that, 110-86. 110-86 we got right here on the scoreboard. How in the world did this Alabama team go to Purdue and lose to Purdue? That's shocking. Alabama had losses against Purdue, Oregon, Ole Miss, Auburn, Mizzou. They allowed 110 points to Mizzou, Tennessee, and Florida. Lost to Florida twice. I don't know how they lost against Oregon and Purdue. That's mind-boggling. Five seconds left to go. Lob down low, and a score up and in off the glass. Alabama set an NCAA tournament record tonight from three-point range. 24 made threes in this game for Alabama. They shot 24 for 50 from three. They only attempted 15 twos this entire game. They went 34 for 65 from the floor. They shot 24 for 50 at 48% from three. Here's another three. They drill another three. 113-86 or 113-88. Final 10 seconds left to go. BYU bricks the shot off the glass. Out of bounds was off of Alabama. It will be BYU ball with 5 seconds left. Wow. Most three-point makes and attempts in a single NCAA tournament game. 25 for 51 from three-point range at 49%. That is insane. As BYU bricks a three and time expires off the clock. An absolute masterclass in a speed game tonight for Alabama. 113-88 the final score. And no, that's not a typo on the score. Holy smokes. Mark Sears, 34 points. Tied for second in NCAA tournament history tonight with 10 made threes in this game. 23 points off the bench by Aiden Holloway. He drilled 6 threes. 19 points by Chris Youngblood, who made 5 threes. 10 points by Clifford Amarui. 6 points, 10 rebounds by Grant Nelson. 8 points by LeBaron Fillon. Holy smokes. 113-88 the final score. Winner of this game will take on the winner of Duke against Arizona. I'll be back in later tonight, probably like 25 minutes from now, as we'll have Duke Arizona coming up very, very shortly. Make sure to stay tuned for that one. But man, oh man, I just insane, absolutely insane. I don't think I covered a game like this in a long, long time, if not. Just insane. College basketball team putting up 113 points in a March Madness game. And this Alabama team, if they play like this constantly, they're gonna win a championship. Especially if they take out Duke in the Elite Eight, they're gonna win it all. Like, I don't think there's any going against Alabama if they take out the best team in the field. In my opinion, with Duke, holy smokes, 113-88 the final score, 11th straight NCAA tournament win, or 11th NCAA tournament win for Nate Oates here. There's in his second straight Elite Eight appearance. Last year they went to the Final Four. Got an absolute flamethrower when Mark Sears dropping down 30 points on 10 made threes tonight. Before you sign off, smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring the notification bell as well, if you guys would like to be notified for future live streams. And I'll be in around like 20 minutes from now covering Duke against Arizona. And feel free to join back in for that one. See you guys later tonight. And wow, what a game here. Alabama crushes BYU 113-88. Alabama moving on to the Elite Eight to face either Duke or Arizona. And we will close out to the channel members. All channel members get a shout out at the end of each and every single one of my live streams. You got Jason Bradley, Ward Kelly, I Am Ghost, the Nija Player, Asia Ice Baby, Katie Oki, SGA Sports Talk, Lonely Satellite, Michael, John, Norma, Jonathan, Guido, and Mark. Thanks for joining in, everybody. See you guys later tonight for Duke against Arizona. Signing off for this one is Alabama puts up just a historic game. 113-88 the final score. The Roll Tide roll over BYU.